Hey everyone! Let's learn about statements, comments, and code blocks. So, all these instruction lines, which we have been writing in the last few videos, are all statements. When a code runs, all these statements are executed one by one in the order they are written from top to bottom. A semicolon signifies the end of the statement. In JavaScript, a semicolon is not a necessity. So, if you miss it at a few places, it will be added on the required spots behind the scenes. But it's a good practice to include semicolons in your code. Let's take a look at the code over here. We have created a moving circle. Let's remove the semicolon and see what happens. Erase, erase, and play. I have removed the semicolons after these statements, and yet there are no errors. Had it been Java, instead of JavaScript, your computer would have thrown errors at you for missing these semicolons. But JavaScript is a very forgiving language, and even if you forget these semicolons, it will add it on its own. The least you need to do is press enter and write a new statement on a new line. We cannot write two statements in one single line. A semicolon or a line break between these two statements is very much required. Let's put both these statements in a single line and an error. So, let's write a semicolon now. And now we have a happy error-free code in front of us. I personally don't like skipping these semicolons or writing statements all on one line. Usually there's more than one person working on some project which requires programming. It's not always easy to understand what's happening in the program written by someone else. So it should be neat and tidy. In fact, here in P5, if you click on Edit menu, you will find this command tidy code. And if you click on it, your code will get properly organized. In order to make our code even more reader friendly, it's a good practice to leave helpful comments in the program. Comments are not executed as part of the code, they only make reading the code easier. We have two types of comments, single line and multiple line. Single line comments start with two forward slashes. We usually write the comment above the instruction line which we are explaining. Let's write comments for these two statements. This statement is creating a circle, so we can write two forward slashes creates a circle. This is a comment, a single line comment. And for bigger comments, which would occupy more than one line, that is for multi-line comments, we enclose the explanation between these. A forward slash, an asterisk, and then again at the end, asterisk and forward slash. The text can go between these two things. Fill function adds color, then enter next line to the shape. So we have a multi-line comment right over here. There are no hard and fast rules for writing these comments. It's all about making the code reader friendly. Now moving on to the code blocks. A code block simply consists of grouped statements within curly braces. All these lines inside function draw are a block of code. We can always use a code block inside another code block, and we are supposed to provide indentation inside a block. So function draw over here is a block, and we have this little margin before these statements. Most of the times, these margins are created automatically. So if I write another statement like press enter, my cursor will start by leaving the same little space before it. And square, 50, 100, 50. Well, we have a little square over here. Let me create a little function hello, and then the curly bracket and enter. So do you see this little space before our cursor? This process of leaving little spaces before our statements inside a block is called indentation. And indentation is not a necessity. Well, not at least in JavaScript. So not doing it won't make your code wrong, but it's a practice which is followed by most of the programmers. and it will be a good thing if you do the same. That was all for today. I'll meet you in the next video. And if you like this one, please click on like, subscribe, and share. Bye bye.